Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Keith Armour. I'm the Education Homework Support Manager down here at the main library in the Adult Learning Center. We are going to talk about one of my favorite places right here, and it's called our MakerSpace. It's one floor up from the Adult Learning Center, and it is a wonderful place, especially if you have a personal or school project, or if you're a small business or a nonprofit. Wonderful place that you can get a lot of stuff done fairly cheaply. And what is also really great, we have people that will help you out. So I'm going to show you all of that. I'm also going to show you some of the equipment that is at 3 of our branches as well, and that's St. Bernard, Reading, and Loveland. So they have some MakerSpace stuff there as well. So we're going to dive into that, and then we'll look at some other things around in our event page as well. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. Well, all right, we've arrived at our wonderful website, cincinnatilibrary.org. We're going to come over to Services here, click on Services, and to find MakerSpace, we're going to look under Using the Library, and it's the 4th one down right here, MakerSpace. Now, what I love about our tech group, not only the people that put our website together, but also the people that work in the MakerSpace and our tech center, is they put all of this information that's just a click away for you. But MakerSpace, gather, invent, and learn at our MakerSpaces, our free 3D printers, software, laser cutters, and other tools will help you create pretty much anything you can imagine. Now, here's the reservation equipment tool that we're going to come to eventually, but let's look at some of these other things here. How do you want to use MakerSpace? Is it a personal or a school project? Do you have a small business, or are you a nonprofit? We're going to take a look at those in just a moment as well. Here's a great example of 3D printing. Here's a baby, it says Baby Yoda, but this looks like a regular Yoda to me. But we also have MakerSpaces at some of our branches. They don't have as many different types of equipment, but if you click right under here, right here, it says St. Bernard. Their equipment includes a sewing machine, button makers, a silhouette cameo machine, and computers with a special Adobe software. At Reading, they have a recording booth. They have computers with that Adobe software, and of course a 3D printer. And at the Loveland branch, they have equipment like the 3D printer and the special equipment, that special software, that Adobe software on their computers. Now at the downtown branch, if I click here, it just says that we have numerous tables and chairs. Well, that's because down here is all of the equipment, all of the different types of equipment that they have in the MakerSpace at the downtown location. Excuse me, the way that you get to the MakerSpace, it is in the north building. On 9th Street, underneath the connector between the two buildings, is our 9th Street entrance. If you come in there and you go to the 2nd floor, either the stairs or the elevator, it will take you to our MakerSpace. MakerSpace covers almost an entire floor because all of this equipment takes some space. But what's great about not just this equipment, but we have trained staff members, library employees that will help you with all of this equipment. Now, before you even come down, if you want to check out some of our online resources, such as Universal Class, it has a whole bunch of things that you can do online. If you're thinking about taking any kind of refresher course about technology, especially about software or business skills, LinkedIn Learning is absolutely wonderful. Creative Bug is also a great resource that's just a click away with your library card, and that has over 1,000 videos on arts and crafts. Now, all of the equipment's here, but let's scroll back up and let's think of MakerSpace if you are using it as a school or a personal project. I'm going to click here. what they've done is kind of shown you the top reasons why people come in for a school project or a personal project using the button maker, the vinyl printer, the media conversion station, or the 3D printer. So the 3D printer is the one that, when people say MakerSpace, oh, it's got a 3D printer. Well, if you want to make, a little fun figurine or different kind of models or gears or even little pots for your house plants, that's some examples. If you click right here, they're going to show you that they have two different kinds of 3D printers downtown. They're going to tell you what you will need. They'll tell you about the cost. And remember, it's really the cost of the materials, not the use of the machine. And then what the price includes, and then how to reserve it, okay? But just a great way to put all of this stuff together. Now, the media conversion station, it's an interesting piece of equipment because it will help you convert things. So if I click here, it can convert music from cassette tapes or vinyl records to MP3s or CDs. It will convert those VHS tapes. Maybe you have a VHS tape of your grandparents' wedding and you'd like to have that digitalized or put on a DVD. That is what the conversion station is. If you have slides, negatives, or documents, you can change that and make that into a digital format at the conversion station. This is what you'll need. The station, once again, is free. You can bring in your own flash drives. You can bring in your own CDs or DVDs if you want to do that, or we do provide those at a cost. Here's the reservation station here where you can reserve it. We'll look at that in just a moment. And they kind of, they want you to give you about 60 minutes to help you do that. And remember, trained staff will help you get you set up and will answer your questions along the way as well. Then if I go back, the vinyl printer is one of our most popular ones, and it's got all sorts of different things. And here it is. It looks very intimidating. It looks like a huge printer. But once again, trained staff members will help set it up. And here is the cost. This is unbelievable because it's only $2 per linear foot. So if you have a banner that's 6 feet long, it's only going to cost you $12. And it's going to have all of these great colors. You can have a vinyl cling where you can put it on your windows. You could put it, you can get the ones that have sticky on the back so you can peel it off and stick it to something. Great thing for kids' rooms or your house or a business. But what's wonderful again is a staff member will help you get it set up and answer your questions along the way. So you will have a great project and people will be so impressed and say, where'd you get that? And you'll say, at the MakerSpace at the downtown main library. And the last one on here under school and personal uses is the button maker. People have made different kind of buttons for kids, for projects. You can make just buttons, or you could do a keychain or even a magnet. And those are the costs per button or per magnet or per keychain. Okay, and there's two different sizes as well. You don't have to reserve the button maker, but if someone's using it, you might have to wait around for just a little bit. Now, if we go back one more and go to small business, and once again, there's the vinyl printer, the computer workstation. Now, the computer workstation doesn't just have, Adobe stuff. It has a lot of Adobe type of equipment and a lot of other special software. I don't even know what Handbrake is, but that's some of the software. Now, you do have to reserve these workstations, and they do want you to reserve it just for about a 60-minute session. and they want to make sure that no one's waiting around for it. So that's the reason why there's a reserve for that. But a lot of high-powered computer specialized software. And it's used for video editing, music, mixing, graphic design, architecture, web design, and even a lot more. And then you've got the UV printer. UV printer is specialized, so if you want to try to kick everything up a notch, you can try that UV printer. Here's the cost for that and the reservations as well. Go back. Here's a laser engraver. So if you want to make something very special, the laser engraver is really kind of cool. There are some things that you definitely can use in the laser cutter and engraver, and then there are certain things like stained woods and metals that you cannot use. So when you're setting it up, obviously a MakerSpace staff member will help you out, but just make sure that you do not use any of these materials, because you're not going to be allowed to use those materials because it's not good for the machine. And we want everyone else to be able to use it as well. So here is the cost breakdown here. Here's the reservation station. And then here's a little short video that will actually show you in a speed, it's speeding it up, but engraving a wonderful non-stained piece of wood. All right, I will stop there. And then if you're thinking about putting together like a cookbook or a manual, maybe you've got grandma's or nana's recipes and you want all the grandkids and all of the relatives to have a copy of it, you could use our book, Espresso Book Maker, and create that. Okay, there is a little fee for different things, so keep that in mind. There's a price breakdown here for that. And then there's a video on that as well, okay? So going back one more, if you're a nonprofit, you've got the photo booth, the photo station, should I say. And if you are a for-profit and you're trying to sell things on eBay, you can definitely use this type of equipment to make some really nice looking pictures. And there's the recording booth. Now the recording booth right now is closed, but it will eventually open up. There's the computer workstations and the UV station, okay? Now, when we scroll down here, remember all of these are here. You might be thinking sewing station, and you click here and you're like, well, that looks like a sewing machine. Well, this is not just any sewing machine. This is model CS6000i, and it does all sorts of different crazy things for anyone who does sewing. And we scroll back, and each one of these you can read a little bit about them and it will tell you about it. So those are all of the equipment. That's all of the equipment that we have at our downtown library branch, okay? I highly recommend that you just go down and visit it. And if you want to bring the kids down to do some buttons or do something with the 3D printer, you definitely want to reserve. Now, when you click on here, it's going to take you to this. Now, you will have to put in your library card number and your PIN. Now, the vinyl printer and cutter is one of the most popular machines that we have in MakerSpace. A lot of people reserve it. So to keep this in mind, I went all the way out to August the 9th and found some open times. Now we have two of them down there, printer number 9 and number 11, and you'll notice that there are some times here that are available. Right down here would be my booking. If I book something, and remember I have to have my library card number and my PIN, and if you don't have a library card, make sure you call our number 369-6900 and we'll get you a library card. But you have to have a library card to reserve this equipment. But once I would reserve it, you would see that my reservation would be in yellow. The red indicates that ones that have already been reserved by other people, other customers. The white is showing me where it is available. The gray is elapsed and in use. And of course, this is in August the 9th. This is about a month away. It's not going to show me. It just kicked me out. Okay. So with that, I hope you check out the MakerSpace. Let's look at some events that are happening. We have on Friday, we have the I Spy at Miami Township. Drop in and build your city. Keep going. That is still going on at Oakley. An I Spy at Wyoming. This one right here is the virtual steam moons. And this is, it's going to be hot between 1 and 1:45 tomorrow. So you can always register. There's not that many seats left, but you can register for this. And this is a great event. And this is ages 5 through 12. They'll help you explore not only our moon, but hundreds of moons in our solar system. And then there's some other events that are happening that you might be interested in there. And then if we keep going down, we've got Introduction to Robotics. We've got Giant Games at Green Hills. And what's really fun is weather permitting. There'll be lots of giant games, like a giant Connect 4 game. All sorts of really fun. This is a great thing to have outside. It just is really fun. So definitely check that out. Okay. And of course, don't forget, we are still involved in, let me go back up to the top. Let me go back here. We still have our Discover Summer going on all the way until the end of this month, July 31st. A lot of different opportunities for kids and families to participate with our wonderful Discover Summer program. So once again, to get to MakerSpace, you go to Services. You go right down here to MakerSpace. You can read and learn about all of the different equipment that's down at Maine. You can find out what's happening at the other 3 branches, and then you can reserve your equipment here. All right, I'm going to click out, tell you a few more things, and we'll call it a day. All right, that was our MakerSpace. I focused mainly on the main library because that's where all of our equipment, the 3D printers, the audio recording studio, the button makers, the digital creation station, the Ellison die machine, the espresso book machine, the large format scanner, the laser cutter, engraver, the media conversion station, photography video station, sewing station, the UV printer, and the vinyl printer cutter. So that is a lot of equipment. You can reserve it with your library card. And some of the equipment you do have to reserve a little bit out on the calendar. But the calendar is very easy to manage, and I definitely want you to check out the MakerSpace here at the main library. And don't forget, the events that are still going on, we still have Discover Summer. Discover Summer is happening all the way until the end of July. And then we have that virtual STEAM event for kids. That's on Friday. That's Moons, and that's from 1 to 1:45. You can keep them in from that heat that's going to happen tomorrow, and they can sit down and watch a little bit of our virtual program called Moons. And then, of course, there's that Giant Games happening over at Green Hills on Saturday. So definitely check out MakerSpace if you're a nonprofit, if you have a personal project or a school upcoming school project, or if you're a small business. We definitely want you to check out the MakerSpace. And I will see you next week for another Lunch and Learn. Have a good day. Bye.